Thunderheart has come.
I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chump some of this shit.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Oh, what's in the box?
Greetings and welcome to the Cinema Sandbox. I'm Christopher G.
I'm Jordan Sherwood. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Today we're talking about a film from 1992 called Thunderheart, starring Val Kilmer, Greene, Sam Shepard.
There's been a homicide on Indian land.
They sent him to a foreign land.
What's my cover?
In the middle of America.
The film is directed by Michael Apted, who is a British director, but worked a lot in Hollywood. Directed a real wide variety of stuff. He started in television in Britain.
World in action enters the struggling, changing world of the 7-year-old.
Sorry, Cedric. We're never going to play with you again.
These were documentary films that took a look at a group of British children from age 7 every 7 years as they grew up. And I think they went up to 63.
Oh, wow.
So by 49, I actually thought, you know what, no more. I'm not having this anymore.
To see, how people develop over time, similar to what they did in boyhood. Then he went on to direct other films, thrillers, comedies, even a James Bond movie.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Bond.
So quite a versatile director.
Very clinical, not that fancy.
The film is very old-fashioned, and it has an old-fashioned style, which I would call a sort of a non-style. I wouldn't say documentary, but it has a very matter-of-fact kind of style.
Stronghold. What? We're heading for the stronghold.
At its heart, it's really just a murder mystery that involves a kind of a multiculturalism, cultural clashes.
On the ground.
And one central character played by Val Kilmer, who is part Indian. His father was Sioux, is that right? Sioux?
Sioux or half Sioux?
I don't know.
Sue, your real father was half, isn't that right?
That's sort of the journey arc of his character in the film, is going from kind of denying his cultural heritage.
Nothing to be ashamed of, Ray. They're your own people, aren't they?
They are not my people.
And then through sort of self-discovery and through this murder mystery, comes to terms a little bit more with that part of himself. Is that sort of an accurate
Absolutely.
portrayal?
He finds that part of himself that, for all sorts of reasons he blocked off.
One of the stars of this film is Roger Deakins, the cinematographer, who is just a fucking rock star when it comes to cinematography. If you don't know his films, from Blade Runner 2049 to the Coen brothers films, and again, both the director and the cinematographer are kind of British outsiders, and they capture the American landscape in a way that is just, I don't know, incredible and very unique. The way he captured those landscapes at night in particular just blew me away with this sort of lunar blue.
Because your government pushed our people off this land years ago, Ray.
And Greene's coming right off of his Oscar nomination for Dances with Wolves.
A lot of people say he outdid himself, or outdid that performance in this.
I prefer this film and his performance in this film over anything in Dances with Wolves.
This guy was a big son of a buck. Based on the depth of that print, pressure releases, I'd say he goes 210, 215.
You gonna tell me how much change he had in his pocket?
63 cents.
In this film, he's funny, he's intense, he's sage, he's real range also in this performance. And kudos to Val Kilmer, because he's remembered for a lot of other films before this one, and I think this one is just as powerful as anything he did in any of his other films.
Other than that, your coming here is like pissing in the wind. So drop the questions, stick to the assignment, okay?
And Sam Shepard, I think he is one of these actors who I kind of consider along the lines of like Chris Christopherson.
2/3 of that money went straight into your pocket.
You're being mighty careless with your mouth, son.
They are so good as actors at playing just absolute hateful chode. And I guess because he is.
What is it like? Explain that. I don't know what that is.
A chode is just a dick that's wider than it is long.
Okay.
But as people, they're some of the most high artistic minded, kind, as far as I can tell, opposites of those characters that they're so good at playing.
Mm-hmm.
This is Ray here. Ray Little Weasel.
It's almost, I think, a hybrid between a neo-Western and a neo-noir because it is a murder mystery, but it does incorporate a lot of the tropes we know from kind of classic Westerns, subverting them a lot, of course. But
yeah, I mean, there's even one scene where somebody is, in a Western, it would be somebody on a horse riding and shooting, but it's somebody driving a pickup and shooting.
This film has a lot of really hefty themes.
What's so emotionally gripping is just knowing that this is a dramatic portrayal of a very real systemic issue.
Look, we got 87 miles to the res. We better hit it.
On Metacritic, it has a Metascore of 58, a user score of 8.0. On Letterboxd, it has a 3.4 and a 6.8 on IMDb. Not criticism, but praise for Val Kilmer and Roger Ebert. He says he didn't recognize him 20 minutes into the film. In his review, he said it's not a trick of makeup or lighting, it's something inside Kilmer himself that seems to conceal it. Letterboxd user Sally Jane Black was talking a little bit about on what it got wrong. One of the things that it got wrong, she said, was that the FBI would have eaten Lavoie alive. That's Val Kilmer's character. He would have brought no form of justice.
I think they shot this in South Dakota. The film starts off with a very evocative scene of Indian ritual, and we hear the singing and the drumming, but it's all kind of intercut with the murder of Leo Fast Elk, who we don't really know anything about at this point. Multiple gunshot wounds, and boosh, right into the river, dead. I don't know how that works in terms of jurisdiction because it takes place on an Indian reservation, but the FBI are called in.
I think local and state have no jurisdiction, and I think federal only has jurisdiction
under certain circumstances, and this met that circumstance.
Yeah. And that's where our new FBI character comes in, Val Kilmer.
Right.
He's brought into Fred Thompson's office.
Now, this is a murder investigation. There's a militant group operating on the reservation. Call themselves ARM, Aboriginal Rights Movement.
What's my cover?
No cover. You're going in there as who you are, an American Indian federal officer. Now, I happen to believe with a Native American representative in there that we can diffuse the tension and improve relations.
I think that was kind of the point of Fred Thompson's character, is that he kind of knew, not that he knew more, but he revealed more to us about Val Kilmer than Val Kilmer was willing to reveal.
I didn't know my father, sir. He died when I was a baby.
He died when you were 7.
Yep, third world, slap dab in the middle of America. It's hard to believe, huh? Used to be all theirs. This is what they got left with.
We just get the sense already that there's something off. Frank wants to wrap it up quick.
Leo Fast Elk.
Not fast enough, I guess.
While they are out at the crime scene, this is where we meet Graham Greene's character. He rolls up, and I'm pretty sure he's just dicking with them. He knows that they're there and wants to get himself into some trouble.
Come back to cover your tracks, pal?
Leo's been out here too long, man. I'm taking him to ceremonial burial.
Restricted area, Geronimo.
This is Indian land.
Do people watch this and they're like, hell yeah, I'm side FBI?
Good question. Who are you?
He's a fucking cop, is what he is.
Fucking cop?
Yep, Walter Crowhorse, tribal police.
But he's doing his job. Yes. Because he's finding clues and he's finding inconsistencies where Sam Shepard has no interest in that.
Then we got Jimmy.
They're trying to pin it on this guy, Jimmy Looks Twice, who's part of the ARM movement, Aboriginal rights movement. But, you know, he's looking at the footprints and he's saying, oh, it's a much heavier person than Jimmy. And Val Kilmer, like, slurring him, like, oh, are you going to tell me how much change he had in his pocket also?
63 cents.
You gotta listen to the trees, Hoss. You gotta stop and listen to the wind. It'll tell you things, Cola.
So the investigation starts out as a homicide.
Right.
But it becomes so much more than that, the more that Kilmer looks into things.
Now, what's going to happen is this afternoon we're going to move into one of their guerrilla camps and bust his ass.
They're basically, let's just go get him. Let's go find Jimmy. That's their goal.
It's that easy.
FBI, come out easy. Come on.
They are going to take him back to his house on the reservation to look for, I guess, the weapons or whatever evidence is there. They get to the house, and what happens?
He's cuffed, so he can't get this himself. You got to get my spare key from under the porch. There's a pot underneath there.
But he escapes. That's pissing off Frank, because not only did he get bitten by a badger,
he's got to stay out there.
Hey, we're trying to build a case here, Ray. Get tape, all right? All I know is if we don't nail this sucker in the next 24 hours, this is no longer an in and out. You understand? Now get the f*** out there and get the traditionals talking. They're hiding him.
Those, you know, they keep interfacing with Walter, who has, you know, his own investigation going on. And he's sort of feeding Val Kilmer clues and tells him that Leo was actually shot on Maggie Eaglebear's property. So he goes out there.
You must be the Indian FBI.
That's right.
But she seems to be more of a positive force in the community. She's a teacher. She's helping women who have been abused. And she's got a family. So she's raising.
Taking care of all these kids, most of which aren't even her own.
Who do you get your blood from? Who's your father?
Oh, look, this really doesn't matter, does it?
Grandma's very, very traditional. I don't think she'll understand.
I'm very traditional, too. Why don't you bring her out? She can explain to me about shape-shifting, and I'll explain to her about the airplane. Well, you're from the reservation.
You asshole.
Crowhorse takes Lavoie out to meet with Grandpa Sam.
Oh, yeah. Who is a great character.
Oh, my goodness.
Grandpa likes to trade. Nobody stops by here without getting stuck in the old Indian barter. Know what I mean? He likes your eyeglasses.
In order to get information or little clues, he ends up giving him little bits of things for trade.
After either that first or second visit with Grandpa Sam, that Ray actually starts to get some visions himself. But as Ray's visions are increasing in frequency and potency, and he's becoming closer and closer with his roots and where he came from, he remembers being at one of these ceremonies with his dad.
Here to me. He's drunk. Get away from him. Let go of him. Come on, come here. Let go.
I think they were implying that he even saw Grandpa Sam as a kid. So obviously, his connections to this community are not just superficial.
What we want to highlight is the developing relationships, the relationship between Ray and Maggie. She gets him to open up at one point.
You can't understand. You're not Indian.
My father was an Indian.
You never knew him.
I knew my father. He was crazy. Built bridges and skyscrapers without a safety harness in his bare feet. I knew my father, Maggie. When he'd say, "Don't worry, Washi, I can fly." That's what they call me. They call me Washi.
Crowhorse reveals it looks like they're doing some strip mining out there. He finds chemical residue. And if you've seen kind of how they do uranium mining and strip mining.
I have never seen that.
Really, really interesting colors we're seeing there, and it's obviously looks toxic, of course. And you could see the plastic layer is barely doing anything. This is obviously 60, 70-year-old plastic lining. Navajo Nation strictly relies on groundwater. Very little of it is pumped in.
God damn. Test drilling for uranium.
It felt like Chinatown. It starts off about a murder. Underlying at the root of it, it's systemic rot. It's systemic corruption.
It was never an investigation.
Mm-hmm.
It was a performance.
Yep.
And Val Kilmer was cast in this performance for his indigenous roots to disarm people thinking that, okay, we can trust. He was used as a shield, basically.
Political cover.
He is just as much effed over by the government. Because at first, he says, these are not my people. And then at the end...
And your people supplied Milton and his goons.
They're not my people.
They expose the conspiracy.
Yellow Hawk is going to sing.
This is insubordination and it's futile. Just stop the car, Ray.
3 suits, that's all I know, man. Talk to Frank, man. He's the one that set it up.
Right, Frank Hotel was there.
Yeah, Frank Hotel was there.
It's not showy in the way like a Michael Bay car chase would be, where there's like a fetishization of kind of cutting and almost a music video approach to cutting. It's really very simple units of action. Shots of them in the car, shots of the car, really great aerial shots. And just a very, again, matter of fact, nothing extraneous in the style of it. And I love it.
Is that it? Yeah.
Ultimately leads to a confrontation between Ray and Frank.
We came here to apprehend a murder, and that's what we did. Now it's all over.
You came here to broker a land deal and eliminate anyone who knows.
What do you want? What do you want?
It starts messy, it gets messier, and it ends messy. That's, I think, the lesson from this film. So Val Kilmer is about to turn his back and walk away, and we hear all the guns clicking, and then we hear more guns clicking. And there's this incredible reveal shot of all of the community have come together to defend.
It's like Grandpa Sam got everyone to round up all the horses.
Yes.
Or in this case, cars.
So what happens to Pooch now?
Internal security investigation.
It'll be an internal investigation. It'll be either covered up, somebody else will get blamed, or whatever, and probably the land deal will go through, and they'll be mining there anytime soon, and the community will suffer. You get the sense that there's this small victory, but there is this larger impasse that, that will always be there because of the system. The system needs to keep going, and everyone plays their little part.
Take care of yourself, Crow Horse.
If you ever need a place to come back to, listen to the wind.
What has Val Kilmer gained, though, on a personal level? Versus, is there justice? Is there any change? Obviously the system is too big.
Unlike Chinatown, though, I think with this, he finds a deeper sense of self, and especially what that means, a connection to that part of himself that he denied. But I think even for the broader community, they've got to have a stronger sense of purpose. You would imagine. After going through this incident together, and there's so much that they need to tackle as far as battling the system, they're going to be more emboldened to do so after this.
There's no sense of at the end, like, okay, things are going to change now. He was just there for that moment and did a little thing, and then now the end shot with him facing those freeways, the obstacles and which way do you go, that's the end.
And also, when you approach a freeway like that, at that kind of the midsection,
Yeah.
it looks like you have a choice, but you don't. You can only go one way.
Things that happened that day, June 26th, like 1975. What happened to the agents, what happened to different people around here, what happened to Joe Stunts, and different things, I think that there's going to come a time when all that has to be told.
The real story is so much more tragic.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest real name that I think most people would recognize from this overall saga is Leonard Peltier.
Leonard Peltier is an American Indian accused of murdering 2 FBI agents.
They're doing everything they can to convict this man.
FBI conspiracy. There is not one shred of evidence that I killed anybody.
And he is the central figure in this documentary that you just recently watched today called Incident at Oglala.
Apted made this at around the same time that he was doing the film. It began with the chase of somebody who was accused of stealing boots.
Mm-hmm.
And that led to these FBI agents ending up on reservation territory, getting involved in a shootout.
And I heard crying and everything. I thought, well, we got to get those women and children out of that place, man.
What do you think you're doing?
There's little babies there. There was, I thought the old folks were there. I said, we got to get those people out of there, man. What the hell's going on?
2 FBI agents, they were killed in a shootout with somebody who they said shot first, and that's being disputed. But other people that were on the property nearby started getting involved because they see these strangers. The first 2 guys were acquitted on grounds of self-defense. And in response to that, the government tailored a case to bring Peltier back into the States. Even more flimsy evidence. They needed a fall guy.
Yeah.
At least his perception was he was threatened in all sorts of ways, being prosecuted and being hurt. His perception was that he had to say what he knew they wanted to hear, or else he was in big trouble.
I am not aware of anyone coercing anyone for any kind of a statement, and it was never done to my knowledge.
Do you think that you'll ever be released from prison?
If enough people in the world protest and listen to how I was convicted, look at the evidence, yes.
He was imprisoned for 50 years. It wasn't until Joe Biden's very last day in office.
Oh, wow.
January 20th of 2025, the last moments of his administration.
And he had a commuted sentence?
Commuted his sentence, not pardoned. Pardoned would have absolved him of all of his charges. He is able to live out the rest of his sentence until 2035, presumably at his house.
Tell me about one of your favorite shots, images, sequences in the film.
You were talking about some of the night shots. And think of in particular which one I liked the most, but it had just that deep blue with the black in the back. It made me, because we don't experience night like that here in Los Angeles. It just gets slightly darker.
It makes you aware that you're on this planet.
It makes me want to go out to the Midwest and experience some real darkness.
The camera work by Roger Deakins is just impeccable. And one of the just random shots that I love so much in the film is just that one where Frank is getting Ray a Coke at that little Coke machine outside the motel. And it's just like a beautiful tableau shot of the outside and them sitting on the curb and with these little pools of light. It's just like a beautiful, beautiful shot. I want to recommend The Exiles, which is an amazing film that's set in the late 50s. Basically a block from where we sit right now. Kent Mackenzie is the filmmaker, also British.
What follows is the authentic account of 12 hours in the lives of a group of Indians who have come to Los Angeles, California.
What this film offers is a time capsule of that era.
He'd usually take me a lot, but he'd drop me off and he don't pick me up when I ask him to.
And the kind of fallout of the some of the government programs that were intended to modernize indigenous people into urban environments. There was the Urban Indian Relocation Program of 1952, which later I think morphed into something called the Indian Relocation Act of 1956, Public Law 959, which was this program to get people off the reservations and assimilated into urban culture. People have lost connection with their culture on the reservation, with their heritage, with their language, with their customs, and then were supposed to get jobs in the white world. But what it is, it's a portrait of this woman who's just a lonely woman. She's in this environment where heartbreaking scenes of her like doing window shopping by herself. She goes to the movies by herself because she doesn't know anybody. She doesn't have friends. She's looking at all these consumer goods that are part of white culture and wishing she could have this dress. Yvonne, the lead character, wrote her own dialogue in the film, her own narration.
Well, if the boys weren't hanging around, stay at the house all the time, he would stay home. At least Homer did try to look for a job. But the rest of the guys, I don't think they really try to look for a job.
The revolutionary thing about this film is that it is not a romanticized vision of the American Indian. Edward Curtis, who I'm sure you're aware of as the photographer of a lot of kind of 19th century Indian portraits, presents us with this perspective of the noble, serious, stoic Indian. Here you see Indians wearing khakis, and you see them driving cars, and you see them in bars, and you see them at movie theaters. You had not seen this before. Being a mixed race person myself, I have always felt outside of different cultures, questioning where I fit in. As part of being an artist was what has saved me, because being able to watch cinema and relate to different cultures through cinematic language and whatnot is a real way of kind of grappling with some stuff when you don't feel like you're part of something. The same way where if you're like a young kid from small town Texas and you see a gay film for the first time, you're like, oh my God, there's like other people like me out there, right? So anyway, to finish up with The Exiles, it's an amazingly beautiful black and white film. Just gorgeous to look at. If you want to see a time capsule of Los Angeles, of Bunker Hill, it is literally time travel. So that's our look at 1992's Thunderheart. We hope you get a chance to look at this film, but we really hope you get a chance to look at these other films like The Exiles.
And Incident at Oglala. I checked it out on YouTube. It's on all sorts of streaming sites.
Definitely worth a watch. I'm going to rewatch it because it's been a while since I see it. I'm glad you watched it so you could be fresh on that, but I definitely want to watch it again.
There ain't no word in Sioux for goodbye. Look after yourself, Ray.
So from us here at the Cinema Sandbox, thank you for joining us today. My name's Christopher G.
I'm Jordan Sherwood. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.